Hey guys, welcome back. I'm feeling kind of in the video mood tonight. So I'm doing this video now on this LX610, and the reason I'm doing this video is because the last video I kind of compared the Epson and LX610, but they really weren't a comparison video. It was really just a review on both, just killing two birds with one stone because I got both of these printers about the same time. I'm referring to the Epson C6500 and the LX610. So today I'm only going to be talking about the 610 and the BN20 by Roland. And I get questions asked a lot because these are the smallest print cut machines on the market right now, the BN20 and the LX610. So I just figure because I get a couple questions asked a few times on which I would buy or prefer between the BN20 or the LX610, and I'm just going to give you my insight on why you should or shouldn't buy either or because there's if you're in a certain market, there's no comparison. You have to buy one or the other, and I'll explain that in a second. So basically, I got the 610 ready to go here. What I'll do is I'll talk about it, and then I'll start a print, and I'll open up this lid and let you see um, how this prints and cuts. So let me just do a quick. I'm trying not to make this video long, but let me just make a quick comparison between the BN20 and the LX610. Okay. Now, right off the bat, if you're in the sign industry or trying to get into the sign industry, right away, guys, this LX610 is not for you. This is not that kind of printer. This is good for small run custom contour cut decals that you can only spray laminate after it's cut and then peel, which is not a bad idea, but you can't print lam cut on this. You have to print cut and then spray lam. That's all you can do on this. And you're limited to the 4 3/4 size width of material on this printer. Um, these are the rolls. And compared to vinyl, you're going to spend way more money on vinyl for this than you would a BN20 because these are coated. So you have to buy these from Primera proprietary wise because it's made for this machine. Basically, the paper you could print on other substrate, other vinyl. I'm sorry, any label material from other companies, except you would have to use this chip. So you're ultimately buying double the quantity. It doesn't make sense. So you have to buy from them because you're only going to get, I think it's 200 feet per chip on these. So yeah, you could take this out and run anything 200 feet. It'll work. So if you have like a favorite material that you know prints better than this, well, you still got to buy that chip and then put it on your roll. So that's the downside to this printer is you got to buy their media, okay, or their chip, let's just say, and it's 4 3/4 wide. Okay, that's the first comparison. So the BN20 will print on regular standard vinyl in the vinyl in the sign industry. Roland's a great company. I have two Roland DTG printers. I've had a Roland SPVP. I had an SP300. I've worked with the VP540s. I worked with the I's, the S. I worked with a lot of them because I used to work for a sign supply company, and I used to do printing demos and I used to install printers and stuff like that. So if you're in the sign industry or trying to get in the sign industry, this is not for you. Okay, I'm just going to tell you right off the bat. Now, would I recommend the BN20 versus other kinds of printer in the market? I may, only because the price dropped on the BN20 to 60 or 5,900 or something like that, 6,000. I would have never paid 8,000 for that machine, knowing what I know or what I've used in the past. For 6,000, for uh, what 1,200 more, you can get yourself a nice latex 54-inch printer like I have there. I mean, I paid more for the combo, but so if you have like a limited space and you really do need to print on vinyl and kind of like have that sign quality, because the BN20 does use equal solvent inks. That's the other disadvantage to this one. The equal solvent ink is going to be way more durable outside before lambing than this. Okay, so this is basically a label type printing system. But you're only getting CMY. You're not getting a black and you're not getting a color. So with the BN20, you're going to get CMYK, also a white. You can get a white or you can do metallics. So that's the advantage of the BN20. The real bad thing about the BN20 versus with print and cut, it uses a spiral cut type cutting feature where the actual knife spins down, so it spins up and down before it cuts. So it's super slow on the cutting. And in the sign industry, you really don't want a print cut machine if you have a lot of work. I'm not that kind of busy. It would work for me if I wanted. I mean, I looked at the BN20s years ago, and I never jumped on one. But if you really are doing a lot of work, you're going to want something you print while something else is cutting. That's just the way it is, because the BN20 doesn't print that fast already, and of course it doesn't cut that fast either. So you can go online, go on YouTube and search other kinds of videos how fast it does print or cut. So but the advantage is it does use eco-solvent inks. Am I a huge fan of eco-solvent ink? No, I'm not. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's sign grade, sign industry type printing. You could print on pretty much anything, you know. But the BN20 was limited to the size because it's got that weird size that you'd have to have somebody cut down for you. So it's not really, you know, efficient. But if you really are in a need a low space setup, then the BN20 is going to be for you for sure. The LX610, going back, uses pigment and dye ink. It can go back and forth, but because of the cost and the size, you're going to spend more money on media and ink than you would on a BN20. I really believe that for sure. Okay, because these are small. I don't even know what these are. 100 milliliter. I don't even know what these are. They're small, but they're CMY. So if you run out of one color, you got to replace the whole thing. Now, for what I do with the labels and everything else, it's lasted pretty well. I'm sure if I ran everything solids, it would burn up quick. So, but you're talking, 2,500 with the Pro software versus 6,000 on the BN20. So if you already have a sign shop and you're doing labels and you're doing custom other small stickers, decals, this is a great addition. But this shouldn't be your vinyl cutter printer. It can't. It just can't. I think the longest you could print and cut, I think, is 2 feet or something like that. I could be wrong. Could be 12 inches. I'd have to go back. So moving on from that, the other thing with I said this is only 4 3/4 wide, so that's the max you can do media print cut. You can buy a die cut, pre-die cut stuff that's a little bit bigger, like 5-inch, but that's it. So the larger format on the BN20 obviously is going to be an advantage. But like I said, if you're in the sign industry and you're looking to get in, you shouldn't look at the LX610 or even versus the BN20, because this LX610 is not going to do with the BN20. The BN20 in the sign industry is a superior machine, but this has its purpose, like I explained in my other videos. So great for home hobbyists, people that do a lot of stuff, out of their house, selling on Etsy, other pages that you would just need print and cut stuff that you don't really need the lam, custom cutting, contour cutting. The software is super easy to use. It comes with free software, and then I think right now there's a promotion for a pro version, so you'd have to contact them when you're buying. 2,500. I don't recommend buying the refurbished. I mean, I will recommend buying the refurbished only if they honor the same warranty, because I had a couple issues in the beginning. I had worked out cutting strip issues. I had ink issues, cartridge issues. So everything got worked out. But other than that, it's been running flawless. Well, I mentioned the spiral cutting. This has a regular cutting tool on it. So let me move up here a little bit. So you see the cutting tool? It's a magnetic force type cutting tool that you would see on a lot of standard cutters, like my 24-inch or the Suma D over there, the HP. That's what these use. So that has an advantage over the BN20, because that uses that whole spiral cutting feature, and it's terrible. It's painless. It's so slow. Okay, so that's your advantage with this one. You do have printing with high resolution and standard cutting tool. Okay, what else? The cost. Size. Now, I guess that pretty much covers the main thing. You got to buy your ink and your media from them, obviously. There's no generic cartridge out there that I know that will work. And if you're under warranty, you don't want to really mess with that anyways. But it will. Like in the beginning, I was talking about my ink problem. I had I would let it sit for a few days and I didn't run it. I started up and I would get ink cartridge not compatible. I don't know why, but it just did that. But I think it was getting close to its end life. I'm not sure, but I called Primera. They took care of it. They figured it out. Your software logs everything. So yeah, it works. So BN20 obviously is just a standard vinyl type printer cutter. So you could use regular EcoSol cartridges. You're probably paying less in the long run for the cost of media and ink to supply that, but that's a sign printer. It's great for a small shop or even the BN20 is great for a home hobbyist also. But if you can't spend $6 grand, get something smaller, that's fine. But inkjet printers can print too, then you can cut. I mean, there's a lot you can do, but like I said, this is superior to just printing on inkjet because, or rather than using inkjet, just for the fact that it's print cut on the fly. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up. What I'll do is I'm gonna run a quick job. Just let me put this in so I can leave it open like that, and then I'll go move this up. And then I'm going to send a print job. It's going to be a picture of my Mustang, but it's going to show you the print and cut and what it does. You'll see it'll separate and the cutting tool will drop up and down, not spiral. It's magnetic. I forgot there's a phrase for that. I just don't offhand. I don't remember, guys. So let me go ahead and start the print. All right. We gotta set the printer. All right. So it's going to go ahead and print and cut. And you see it's pretty quick. This is pretty high settings. It's a photo of my Mustang. So it's going to print, and then you'll see it disengage the cutter, and then it'll drop up and down. It's going to print a puzzle piece and a straight piece. And that's it. Let's go ahead and hit the feed. Close it out. Yeah, it's just a photo of my my Mustang. Print's nice for sure. You can just peel it. See? That's it. These cutting shapes you see here are part of the function in PT Create. It's in your library, and if you have Pro or the regular, I have a trick that will give you tons more of those. Just ask and I'll explain. I'll put that in later. I'll do another video. So, but that's the advantage of this, guys. This is a print cut machine. You could do. There's a lot you could do with 4 3/4. You could do a lot of product labels, custom shapes. You could do just selling decal type stickers. And if you use like frog juice or some kind of other spray laminate, you could spray this after. But I would spray it and then I would peel the matrix off. That way you have nice fresh edges. So, and there's another kind of thing you can do with this, and I'm going to explain later. I'm not going to go into it now, but it's pretty nice too, and I think it's going to shock and surprise a lot of people because nobody's doing it yet. So, but so that's the LX610, and like I said, this is just a comparison video. If you're looking at the BN20, because I've had a couple of people say, hey, would you rather have the BN20 or this? If I had the choice, yeah, obviously I would have the BN20 if money wasn't the object. But in my situation, I don't need a BN20 because I have an HP Latex now, and the BN20 would be just doing what this thing does. This thing is just doing a lot of fun stuff for my friends and family, and just as a hobbyist, it's not really doing much production workflow. It will, and I have sold some stuff already with it. I just haven't been marketing that way yet. It's more like having fun because I really do. I love this machine. The way you just saw it print, that's how it's been printing for a while. I haven't, or cut and print. I haven't had to mess with it in so long. It's got a brand new cutting strip in it. I did that, and it's got a brand new blade in it. So that's about it. So, if I had the choice between the BN20 or this, without money being the object, a BN20 for sure if you're in the sign business. But I would still want this because I really, really enjoy this thing, especially for the price. So, but if you're going to get into it, it's going to cost you roughly around $2,400 plus tax. Your media is about $129 for the 2 rolls of the die cut media. So you'll get 2 rolls of that. I think it's 200 feet each. And then you want to buy a spare ink or another ink set right off the bat. It comes with dye. I bought pigment, and then I got another dye. You do get brighter ink, and that's the advantage too with this one too. It does dye and pigment inks. I mean, it goes back and forth. BN20 uses EcoSol, so I mean that's really awesome, anyways. But there's no black; it's CMY. Remember that. But you can get nice black. All the colors do make a nice black dents in there. I mean, if I printed it on the Epson, it would be a lot better because you'd get true blacks. You know what I mean? So, but that's it. That's my kind of comparison discussion on the BN20 or the LX610. Two different types of direction that these are intended for. This is not a signed vinyl printer. Can you do things on it that could make you? Yeah, you can, but it's not going to be. It's not compared to a BN20. And honestly, if I was in the market for a BN20 I would get a larger format printer and not a cutter. I would go with the HP Latex. Right now, I think they're the leaders right now. That latex ink, the way it's produced on the material, as far as sitting on top of the material, the scratch resistant. The cost of the machines are good. You can start off with the 115s, go up to 315s. Great prices on those machines. So, but yeah, this is just my comparison on the BN20. Right now, I'm just talking about the same things over and over. So I'm going to end the video. But if you're just a home hobbyist, you're not in a sign business per se. You're in a decal business, label business. LX610 is awesome. But like I said, I'm not gonna put the Epson 6500 to shame, because that thing that's my favorite machine. So, but I couldn't live without this LX610 now. It's done a lot of cool things right on the fly for me really fast. So thanks for watching, guys. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. And if you want to see anything that I do, anything that I make in the shop, go ahead and send me a message or comment, and I'll try to make that happen. Cool. Thanks, guys.